You must add to the asset. Do not record in the income statement. So what is the meaning of capital expenditure? This you can use IAS 16, property, plant, equipment. IAS 16 says capital expenditure means, example, renovation, enhancement costs, improvement to asset. Now, what is the meaning of improvement? Now, if I spend money on the asset, and the money that you spend on the asset, if it increases the value of the asset, if you repair the asset and the repair cost increases the value of the asset beyond the original cost. I bought the asset 5 years ago for 10,000. Now I repair. If after repairing, your cost of asset goes beyond the original cost or beyond the original standard, then that is capital. If you spend below the original, if you spend money to maintain your original standard, then that is repair and renewal, maintenance. Maintenance we allow in the income statement. So we want to know whether it is a maintenance cost, repair is a maintenance, or repair is an improvement. They don't tell you repair is maintenance allowed. They can tell you repair in the form of overhaul. Overhaul can be maintenance, meaning you are maintaining the standard, or it can be improvement. What is improvement? Improvement means you are spending money on the asset to improve the performance of the asset beyond the original quality. So if you spend money on asset to improve the performance of asset beyond the original standard, that is capital. Or you spend money on the asset to reduce the operating cost of the asset. Last time, to operate the asset, I spent 1,000. Now I repair it, the cost of operation only 800. So I've improved. So any improvement, whether the improvement in the form of output or in the form of value or in the form of reduction in cost, they are all taken as capital. So capital expenditure, you cannot allow in the income statement. You add to asset, correct? If you debit in the income statement, I will credit back and then I'll add to the asset. Okay. Now, what about any capital expenditure incurred on disabled employee? If you spend money on disabled employee that to perform better duty, any capital expenditure incurred on normal employee cannot allow. You cannot put in the income statement. Capital you cannot put in the income statement. But if the capital expenditure was incurred for the purpose of disabled employee to perform a better duty, then we allow it. We give single deduction. What is single deduction? Single deduction means you spend $1, I deduct $1. Do not get confused with salary. Salary paid to disabled employee, I give $1, you give $2 deduction. If you spend 1, I give 2. This one is not salary. This is renovation of a building or provision of special asset to disabled employee to perform duty. That I allow 1:1. This is under special deduction, section 34. Section 34, special deduction. So any asset that you buy and give to the disabled employee, provision of asset or renovation of building to the disabled employee so that he performs a better duty, allow. But provision of asset or renovation of building to normal employee, not allowed. That. So the word repair can be a maintenance, can be capital. Maintenance is to maintain the original standard. Repair will be a capital expenditure if it has an element of improvement. The word improvement means improving the performance of the asset beyond the original standard. The performance can mean bringing additional output or reducing cost of operation, cost of running the asset. That is capital. So repair reduces cost of operation or improves cost of production capital. Repair only merely maintains the original performance, then it becomes revenue. Revenue allow in the income statement, capital add back. Then I spoke to you about Malalu and Raman. Malalu and Raman is a UK case. The case from UK, but the concept is used in Malaysia. Malaysia, we use all the cases originally. A lot of cases originally we use from UK. Okay, from UK. Many cases from UK. Generally. Malalu and Raman. Look at this case. This is a lady barrister's case. In this case, as I told you yesterday, she bought an overcoat, gown. You know, the black colored gown or overcoat. Lawyer uses the black color coat to go to the court. Okay. Mahkamah semua kita tengok dia orang guna itu apa pakai itu apa nama? Warna hitam punya baju. So, she bought that warna hitam punya baju and she want to deduct in her income statement. She says, the law says, any expenditure incurred wholly exclusively for business, you can deduct. So she deducted the cost of the black coat. Tax department said no. She said, why? They said, no, that is a coat is not allowed. That's all they said. Okay, then she took it to the High Court. She wanted to fight the case. There the judge said, you are wearing the black coat, not only to perform your duty, you're also wearing it to cover your body. So how many percent to cover your body? How many percent to run the case? She can't give a breakdown. So any expenses to be allowed in the income statement must be business expense and it should be revenue expense. It should be wholly exclusively incurred in the production of income, meaning wholly exclusively means there should not be any non-business use. Here, when she wear it for, she also wearing it to cover herself, so that is a non-business use. So when there is a non-business and business use mix, you must identify the non-business and take it out. If you cannot take it out, sorry, we will never allow anything, all disallowed. So here, how many percent to cover the body, how many percent to run the case? Cannot give breakdown, so totally disallowed. Always private expenses not allowed. If private expenses is mixed with business, you must be able to separate it. You cannot separate, totally disallowed. In this case, the taxpayer traveled from Manchester to London. He was spending 5 cents on his meal in Manchester. In London, he has to spend double, 10 cents. He moved to work because of the employer sent him work. He didn't move himself, they sent. So according to him, he's spending additional money on his meal. Higher the meal cost, lower my income. So he wants to deduct it from his salary. Lower salary figure means lower tax. So they said, no, you cannot deduct it from your salaried income because the food you take, the food you eat is to live, not for working. So tell me how much for working, how much for living. He cannot give a breakdown out. So if there is a private expenses, cannot be broken, disallowed. If you have a telephone bill, I can break into business and non-business because I have a printed statement. You have an electricity bill, I can put, let's say from your house, you operate business. If you operate business from your house, I can install a meter, electric meter. So the electric meter will read, let's say from morning 8 to 5, you are using the house for business. Okay. What is the meter reading from 8 to 5? After that, what is the meter reading for non-business? We can split your expenses. There is a method to split because there is a guide to split the meter. This one where got guide. This one no guide. This case got no guide. So therefore not allowed. Any expense that you incur to persuade your competitor not to operate, that is not a business expense. Business expense means incurred in producing the income. Here you are not yet producing. You are protecting your business interests. Protection and producing income is different. So not allowed. So let's look at this question. They want you to work out for a, okay. You will start with this figure. Profit before tax after deducting the following. So you'll start with this figure. Let me check the analysis. If it is okay, nothing to do. Not okay, I will add back. Now you look here. Money paid to a competitor to cease business. Not allowable expense, add back. Renovation cost, that is capital. Normal employee, if you spend money renovating a building for normal employee, not allowed, add back. Disabled employee, we allow, but single deduction. Only salary double. So we allow, nothing to do. Nothing to do. Next, you look at bad debt. Bad debt rate, allow if action is taken to collect the money. Nothing mentioned, we assume action is taken because all business will take action to collect money. So this one, assume action taken, trade, allow. If there is a bad debt for loan, that means you lend money, they don't pay. You're not a money lender. This is non-trade. Non-trade, double A, add back. Next, we look at bad debt allowance. The word allowance is different from bad debt. Bad debt allowance means expected. Expected bad debt. This is anticipated bad debt. You expect people not going to pay, which means anticipated loss. Expected loss for bad debt only allowed if it is specific. Specific relating to trade, allow. Or impact, debt, specific, allow. Allow means nothing to do. If the allowance is for other item, any other item, whether specific or general, not allowed. So general, add back. Other allowances, whether specific or general, not allowed. Allowance for warranty means expected payment for warranty. Warranty only allow if you actually pay. If you don't pay, cannot. Even though taxation also works on accrual basis, certain items, especially allowances, they don't use accrual, sales accrual, purchases accrual. Allowance for warranty cannot. Until you pay, we don't allow. So therefore, add back. Forex. Forex relating to stock or inventory. When you sell stock or goods, trade receivable on credit. When you buy, trade payable on credit. That is business. So stock relating to trade payable, trade receivable, if realized, allow. Allow means nothing to do. Unrealized any kind. Unrealized any kind, not allowed. So loss, you add, you minus, I add. Non-current asset, always disallowed. Always. Any item. So non-current asset, profit. No need to worry whether realized or unrealized. Non-current asset, we don't want. Profit, you add, I minus. Loss, you minus, I add. Disabled employee, we give double deduction. You pay 1/6, I give 1 more 6. But deduction, minus. They already deducted 6, I give 1 more. So that it becomes double. So I start with your 600 here. Then I will look at your adjustment now. Look at it. Profit before tax. Add non-business expense, competitor cost. Okay. Renovation, Normal employee, disallow, capital, add back. Renovation cost for disabled employee, allow. This is special deduction under section 34. If you have any other bad debt, trade allow, nothing to do. Loan is non-trade, cannot add back. Specific bad debt, allowance or impact debt. The one and only allowance for specific bad debt is allowed. The only allowance that is allowed is specific bad debt, and it must be trade allowed. All other kind of allowances, whether specific or general, not allowed. General always not allowed. Bad debt, add back. Now, warranty allowance, specific, general. Other than bad debt, all general specific allowances not allowed. So therefore, I add back. Look at Forex. Forex, realized, stock allow. Allow means nothing to do. Unrealized definitely cannot. Loss, you minus, I add. Non-current asset, totally disallow. Profit, you add, I minus. Loss, you minus, I add. Disable, I give double deduction. So you already deducted this now once. This is the second time. Double deduction, or another word is further deduction. That is your answer. I hope you got it. Any problem? Hello, hello. Boleh saya dengar suara you? Bolehkah?
Yes, sir.
Semua boleh ya? Ada soalan? Okay, next question. I want you to try it first. I've sent you one more. Okay. One more question I've given you this. Okay. This question for 10 minutes, I want you to try before I discuss. But before even you try, I'm going to roughly explain something so that you don't make mistake. You see, this is your income statement. Gross profit is given. Business expense, allow means nothing to do, zero. And then you have another expenses on non-current asset. 300, the analysis is given at the bottom in note 1. Expenses on non-current asset, I have to go and analyze. If it is repair, that is routine expenses, maintenance, allow. If any expenses on non-current asset is renovation, improvement, capital expenditure, initial expenditure, cannot. What is that word initial? This is what I want to explain. Initial means I buy an asset and then immediately I spend money on it. This is initial. So initial means the moment you buy the asset, after that immediately you spend money on the asset. That we call it initial. That is capital. So let's say I buy the asset today, tomorrow I do repair work. That repair maybe looks like maintenance. Somebody used it, you bought it, and then you're repairing it as a maintenance. No. If you buy it, you should be able to use it. If you buy it, if you cannot use it, immediately you spend money. That repair is initial. Initial means cost incurred on a newly acquired asset. That is initial. Initial is capital. Capital tak boleh masuk dalam income statement. Take it out. Take it out and add to asset. If you add to asset, if it's a car, van, lorry, tractor, bulldozer, heavy machine, plant and machinery, fixture, furniture, fitting, you can claim capital allowance. Okay, so this one, question says 300. Ini semua kita kena buang kerana non-current asset. Tapi kena analyze dulu. Soalan kata daripada 390 ialah untuk kita guna sebagai repair. Wang yang kita belanja sebagai repair for a newly acquired asset. New means cap initial. Initial means capital. Capital means angka ini kita campur kepada newly acquired asset yang ada di sini bawah sini. Dia kata tengok nota 2. Nota 2, tahun 2020 kita beli satu machine, heavy machine. Atas angka ini kita belanja repair. Newly acquired asset ini. Newly kita beli, kemudian kita belanja. Ini belanja kita campur sini lah. So jadi 490. Once you, the new belanja, you add to the new machine, and new machine you can claim capital losses. So out of the 390, saya kena buang ke sini. Ambil ini, campur sini. Kemudian, tengok ini lagi ada 40. Legal fee incurred on heavy machine. Ini legal fee untuk belian aset. Legal fee untuk belian aset, kita campur aset dengan aset. So ini pun tak mau. Daripada angka ini, keluarkan ini, masuk ke sini. Campur sini. Jadi 90 and 40 kita campur sini. Jadi berapa? 130. 90 plus 40, 130. Ini sudah jadi 530 sekarang. What about ini? Ini angka daripada ini 300. We have lagi satu ini. Ini apa? Ini routine maintenance. Routine bermaksud kos penyelenggaraan. Tukar dia punya minyak, tukar dia punya plug, servicing sikit. Ini maintenance biasa punya repair lah. Itu revenue. Revenue kita allow. Boleh income statement boleh. So no need to do anything. We allow. Habis. Okay. Right. Kemudian itu saja. Ini balancing charge. Okay. Done. Now, only one thing I would like to talk to you. If you buy vehicle or heavy machine, we claim IA 20%, AA 20%. What is IA, AA? IA initial allowance. 20% capital allowance in the form of IA, we claim only if you buy. The year you buy, you claim IA and AA. Whichever year you spend money, IA and AA. From year 2, only AA. So if I buy this year, I claim IA, AA, 2020, 40%. Heavy machinery, 2020, 40% I claim. Next year, I claim only 20% AA. So any balance brought down, each asset you keep in a separate column. Any asset that you have opening balance brought down, so you claim this is plant and machinery, brought down. Brought down, you cannot claim IA. IA only when you buy. When you use, you only get AA. So this figure will get AA. AA based on cost, original cost. Bukan atas apa nama? Brought down. Tak ada. Ini brought down angka kita gunakan. Kita kira dia punya AA. Daripada angka ini, kita kira AA, kemudian tolak rajin. Next week, we do full capital allowances. Okay, what is the capital allowances for plant and machinery? Plant and machinery, if you look in the table, heavy machinery and vehicle. Vehicle, car, lorry, bus, tractor, 2020. Office, furniture, fixture, fitting, including photostat machine, 20 and 10. Benda ini 20 dengan 14. AA always higher. IA is 14. Okay. Ini you kena refer kepada table yang saya bagi. You open the table, it is there. You don't open the table, cannot do anything. Okay. I've already explained. Now, last explanation. If you look here, any expenditure on non-current asset, revenue allow, capital add back. Any capital expenditure on the asset, initial you add to asset. So income statement we cannot allow, add back. Repair we allow. Legal fee to buy asset, add to asset. Income statement you cannot put on the debit side, take it out. So income statement you debit, I credit. This one, legal fee, if you put the legal fee on non-current asset here, let's say you put it here 10, I don't accept this. So what do? You credit, you add back 10, and then you debit your non-current asset. So that's why I say plus. Income statement you plus, non-current asset also you plus. Okay, that's it. Now I give you 10 minutes to audit your answer. Okay, I give you 10 minutes to audit the answer. Okay, this one, if you don't know, no problem. I'll come and explain again. 10:38, 8 minutes. Give you about 8 minutes. I've already explained. I want you to go through this answer yourself now. Take a paper, pencil, write and check. Which figure you're not sure? This one, I've already given you a working. This one I'll explain. If you have a problem, I'll explain that again. I just want you to check through this. About 5 minutes, I give you 5-6 minutes. I want you to go through and I'll explain. See what you don't know. Take the question, check the figures, whether you understood and whether you understood whatever I explained. Once you reach here, B, then I follow the word B, B, C, S, B, N. B, B, C given in the question. Check it out. C, I have to work it out. B, B, C, S. Final figure. All right. I only need 5 minutes now. Check it through. Then I'll talk to you. I want you 5 minutes, read the question, see whether you understand this carefully. After 5 minutes, I'll discuss the capital allowances. Okay? Give me 5 minutes. Okay, friends, I hope you have finished. Now we look at this. If you look at this, we start with 500. We add business expenses, which is allowed. Capital, you pay legal fee. Legal fee you cannot put in the income statement. Add the income statement. That means add means credit here, and then you debit your asset account. This one, okay, routine. Repair on a newly acquired asset initial. So you credit here, debit your asset. 630, VC given, and that is your statutory income. I show you how to get this. Now, if you look at your capital allowances calculation, this is how I do capital allowances calculation. This is the original figure given, plant and machinery, balance given 200, correct? Balance given 200. Cost is this one. So I go back to my question. This is your original cost. This is your balance, residual expenditure, or we call it tax written down balance, tax written down value, or balance brought down. This is your residual, means balance. Now, any asset that you bought prior to this year, plant and machinery, we claim 2014. 20 only if you buy. The year you buy, you claim 20. After that, every year, from the year you buy, every year you claim 14. This is additional. First year you claim 20 and 14. After that, 14. Since a balance is given, I did not buy this year. If you didn't buy this year, that means you didn't spend the money this year. If you didn't buy this year, I cannot give IA for this asset. No IA if you didn't buy this year. But AA is given every year. AA is based on the QPE, that is your original cost. How much for machine? Machine is 14%, which is this figure. Next, you have 2020. 2020, you take 20%. Heavy machine 2020. How much you bought? 530. I've given you the working here. Heavy machine, cost incurred 400 from note 2. Legal fee on heavy machine you add here. Initial expenditure you add here. If there is any installation cost, also add, but we don't have it here. So that's the figure I claim. IA, AA in the same year. From year 2, I claim only AA. So here you can see QP is 530. Heavy machine will be 2020. Normal machine 2014, heavy 2020. Since you bought it this year, I claim 20 and 20 on the cost. Cost, we call it QPE. So your IA is so much, your AA is so much. That is your capital allowance 282. Habis. Itu saja. That's all we have. I've given you all the workings. I've shown you already how to apply. You can see there how to apply. Next week, I will see how next week or the week after I'll start capital allowances. Or maybe I introduce a little bit. I've already introduced a little bit of capital allowances. The proper version I will introduce either next or the following week. After this, we want to concentrate a bit more question on company, because company first question guarantee is mixed with capital allowances. 25. Okay. So we are learning how to do the big question, but we are learning piece by piece. So that's it for this week. If you have any question, you may ask. I wait for you. We don't have any question until I see you next week. Please keep revising your work. Okay. Ada soalan boleh tanya. Itu saja untuk minggu ini. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any question? Ada?
Tak ada,